My wife said she was on a business trip. That night, I heard the dog barking violently in the kitchen. I went down to check and saw the back door ajar. I thought it was a burglar until I heard water running in the guest bathroom and the humming of a song my wife hated. I froze, realizing it was. My wife said she was on a business trip to Chicago, a standard 3-day conference for pharmaceutical sales that she had been attending like clockwork for the last 5 years, or at least that was the narrative I had been fed along with the slow drip poison of believing I was losing my mind, a narrative constructed with such meticulous detail that I had no reason to doubt the woman who slept beside me. That night, the house felt particularly hollow, a cavernous silence that amplified the creeping dread I had been carrying in my gut for months, a sensation I had been dismissing as the paranoia of an overworked architect who was simply projecting his own stress onto a marriage that was, by all external accounts, perfect. I had kissed Elena goodbye at the door at 5 a.m., watched her load her suitcases into the Uber with that practiced, efficient grace of hers, and promised to water her hydrangeas, standing on the porch until the taillights disappeared around the bend, feeling a strange knot in my stomach that I couldn't untangle. I spent the rest of the day trying to ignore the nagging feeling that the emotional distance between us wasn't just burnout, but a chasm that was being deliberately widened by someone holding a shovel. I went to bed early, exhausted by the mental gymnastics of trying to trust a woman who had become a stranger in her own home, my body heavy with a fatigue that felt unnatural, a lethargy that pulled me under like a riptide. Sleep was a fitful, shallow thing, a black water I was drowning in, broken only by the sound of our golden retriever, Barnaby, barking violently in the kitchen. Barnaby was not a guard dog. He was a creature of aggressive affection who would lick a burglar to death, a dog who greeted the mailman with a wagging tail and a soft woo-woo. So the guttural, defensive snarl ripping through the floorboards was a sound I had never heard before, a primal warning that sent a shot of adrenaline straight into my heart, piercing through the fog of the sedative I didn't yet know was coursing through my veins. I grabbed the baseball bat I kept under the bed, a cliche I never thought I'd use, and crept down the hallway, my bare feet silent on the hardwood, my limbs feeling heavy and uncoordinated, my mind racing through scenarios of intruders and home invasions, terrified not for my property but for the violation of the sanctuary I was trying so hard to hold together. The hallway seemed to stretch on forever, the shadows dancing in the periphery of my vision, and as I reached the top of the stairs, the barking stopped abruptly, replaced by a whimpering sound that was somehow worse, the sound of a dog confused and submissive, followed by the click of claws retreating on the linoleum. I moved down the stairs, gripping the bat until my knuckles turned white, sweat slicking my palms as I rounded the corner into the kitchen. The back door was ajar, the lock mechanism engaging with the frame, but the door itself pushed open, allowing the humid night breeze to blow the sheer curtains inward like ghosts. And my first thought was that someone had broken in, that I was walking into a confrontation that would end in violence. I moved toward the door to close it, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird, the air tasting of ozone and impending disaster. But then I heard a sound that froze the blood in my veins and made the bat feel suddenly heavy and useless in my hands. It was the sound of the shower running in the guest bathroom down the hall, the one we rarely used because the water pressure was terrible, accompanied by a low, melodic humming that drifted through the house with a terrifying, casual, intimate familiarity. The tune was Piano Man by Billy Joel, a song that Elena had famously, vocally detested since the day we met, claiming it reminded her of a traumatic breakup in college, a song she would turn off the car radio to avoid, a song she forbade me from playing at our wedding or even humming in her presence. And yet there it was, being hummed with a casual, happy lilt by someone inside my house, while my wife was supposedly 600 miles away in a hotel room. Full story on channel link below.